Circle, line, another line, eye sockets. Oh my god, it already looks terrifying. What is this cursed face? Okay, here we go again. Circle, line, guideline, and the facial features. Oh, it looks quite nice. It reminds of human. Wait, this is actually way better. Today I woke up and noticed February is coming to an end, and I haven't drawn a single face yet. Faces are number 2 biggest beginner enemy to draw good looking characters, being surpassed only by body anatomy. And yet they are very important, often being the focal point of the image. Well, most of the time. We tend to hide the facial features behind every possible thing, like hair, robe, chemical mask, all different kind of shit. To start the things off, no matter how many guides I've watched, all begins with a circle. Thanks to my basic shape practices, I was able to get decently around one. If you struggle with drawing circles, there are 2 things that help me a ton. The first one, start using a whole arm instead of wrist. And if you don't work digitally or can't draw it with only one stroke, you don't have to. Just sketch god knows how many lines and thicker one surrounding the shape. Because I watched ton of different guides and I don't have my preferred style yet, I instantly messed up the proportions in my first attempt. And the results of me trying to mix match different recipes were disappointing. Anyway, I was trying to stick to one guide and I managed to get this. Come on, this is the simplest face angle. I tried saving this attempt, and after watching more tutorials I ended up with something like this. Something was off and I had no idea what back then. For some reason I decided to add hair, thinking that would somehow help. So that was my defeat number 2, and let's move to the day number 2. Next day I started the same with a circle and guidelines. Some wires in my brain must have connected because I thought maybe using reference is a good idea, and it actually was extremely helpful. The only reason I might have forgot about that is because I was trying to learn how to construct, so from memory, from imagination, but like using reference is helpful with that too. It's like a training wheels for the beginners. It also adds a lot of personality to the face you're drawing, and at this point I basically entered the flow state and I just finished. I even ended up adding hair, which this time was a good idea. And another great tool that I used was flipping the canvas, which I didn't use before, and it helps with keeping the face symmetrical. After drawing these 2 front faces from references, I tried testing my construction skills yet again next day, and I drew a front angle myself. It looks weird, but believable. I think that's caused by low jaws and eyelashes. It looks like a woman with facial hair. That wasn't my intention, and I wasn't bothered to fix it anyway. I tried getting used to different angles first by drawing another reference image. That is when I realized that shading takes way too long, and I have limited time, so from now on I decided to skip shading and focus on the lines only. Day 4, I just doodled some random angles, and they were not bad until I tried adding details. I was suspicious of something, and to check it I filled my canvas with head guidelines. They look decent in my opinion. I don't see any significant mistake. And then I slapped faces onto heads. They look terrible. This one's my favorite though. That was when I realized I don't have a problem with construction, but rather filling the face with facial features. Those defeats all miss one thing: a proper face layout. So, back to watching tutorials. My next attempt actually clicked. I was able to make my own face without a reference, and to finalize I did the front angle as well. This time clean enough. Next on the menu is a side view, but it's only half as problematic, right? It isn't. Do not listen to me. At this point I wanted to spice up the generic looking faces, getting inspired by some other art styles, and I managed to get half as good face in a side angle. And this is what happens when you forget to flip canvas. Final result looked cool in my opinion. He looks devilish. Day 5. At this point I focused myself to complete objective number 2 and help myself understand faces better at the same time. Face line art study it is. I am referencing this artist's drawing of a 3/4 face. The plan is to pick up a few things and use them in the future. I managed to make a cheap rip-off version of face, but that's still more than I expected. Next reference drawing is done by, and I'm really sorry, but I have no idea. I couldn't find it anywhere. Same deal. This illustration is more detailed and features similar but different approach. After that I was trying to do my face without references again. Looks very bad once more, but just in case you need it, here's his number. And last but not least, finally after making so many hot dudes, I decided to draw a female face again, to not lose grip onto that topic, also without using references this time. Not gonna lie, day 5 was a little bit exhausting for me, and whenever I closed my eyes I was seeing faces. Sometimes even he came back. And as we go to day number 6, I have something very important to tell you. I wasn't planning to draw any faces on the weekend because I had a busy schedule. That's why video is about 7 days instead of 9. But with Monday I got sick and I was tied up to bed for a while. That's why I drew only one face and started 1-point perspective study. Nothing too complicated here. My scene of choice is a saloon without the chairs for some reason. And we finally reached to day number 7. I felt a little bit better. Still drew only one head, but this time with shading and colors. And there is no better angle to end it with than front face. Overall, I'm happy with progress that I reached in only 7 days. And yes, I know the plan says only draw head, so technically I could draw this crab and call it done, but I really wanted to learn how to draw heads. Also, I've drew all 80 gesture drawings and completed this month. If you need them, all guides used in making of this video are in the description. I hope you enjoyed watching. If so, I would ask you to tap like button, it means a lot, and thank you. If you are curious, what are those exercises, why do I even do them, check out the part number 1.